Hello everybody! Today I am going to be doing a pretty big October and November book haul and unboxing. I have another book outlet box to unbox and I've been waiting weeks and weeks to film this video. I don't know why I waited so long to film it, but I am dying to open this box, so I'm going to start with that. Why is this box so much harder to open than the last one? Okay. I feel like it's kind of a tiny box, but I got like 6 books. Wrapping, don't need that. Okay, from just like looking at the books that are sitting on the top, I can already tell that some of them are like kind of damaged. And the last time I did a book unboxing, one of my books came quite damaged. It was dented and the dust jacket was all beat up, and somebody from Book Outlet kindly commented on my video and said to email them, and they sent me another copy of the book, but that also came in like not as great condition, not as bad as the first one. I don't know if it's like the mailman or the post office that are just like not handling the boxes very well, but every single time I order books online they always come damaged, and so I don't think I'm going to be ordering books online anymore. Stinks because they're so much cheaper online, but I collect books and I like them in pretty condition. So the first book in here is Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure what this is about, but I think it has something to do with like the dead, because on the back it says the dead are on her feet, her life is on the line, and time is running out. So it sounds really interesting, and what first like drew me into this when I saw it on BookTube is I just really like the cover. The next book in here is Briar Rose by Jane Yolen, and I know that this is like a Sleeping Beauty sort of retelling. I think I'll just read the back because I'm not good at explaining what they're about. So it says, ever since she was a child, Rebecca has been enchanted by her grandmother Gemma's stories of Briar Rose. Becca would have sworn the stories were made up, but on her deathbed, Gemma extracts from Becca a promise to fulfill 3 impossible requests. Find the castle, find the prince, and find the spellmaker. Her vow sends Becca on a remarkable journey to uncover the truth of Gemma's astonishing claim, I am Briar Rose. So it sounds super interesting, and I really like the cover, so hopefully it's as good as it sounds. Next, we have Reboot by Amy Tintera. This was like all over BookTube a couple years ago. Now, I'm pretty sure in this world, when you die, after a little bit you wake back up again, but the longer that you're dead, the less human you are when you wake up. It basically follows a girl who died, and then 178 minutes later she woke up, so she's a lot less emotional and a lot less human, but she ends up falling in love with a guy who died and then woke up like after just a few minutes, so he's like still really human. So it sounds really interesting and I'm really looking forward to reading it. Next, we have a book that I got totally confused about. So it's Ouija by it doesn't say on the cover. Okay, by Catherine Turner. So it says on the cover, now a major motion picture. Now all over YouTube, anytime I was watching a YouTube video, a trailer for a movie called Ouija would pop up. So I assumed this was the same thing, but then after I purchased it, I went on Goodreads and I was like, the synopsis does not sound the same as what the trailer seems to be, so I don't think it's the same movie as the one that like just recently came out. What is this earring doing? So on the back it says, it's not just a game. As far as Elaine Morris is concerned, the Ouija board is just a game she played as a kid at sleepovers, but her best friend Debbie has been messing around with one recently and claims she's starting to hear strange noises around the house. Lane thinks Debbie is a total dork for getting spooked, but until Debbie dies in a horrible and haunting way. Desperate to figure out what really happened to her friend, Lane starts using the Ouija board to uncover the mystery. Already, I am hooked. So the last 2 books are hardcovers. I don't know why I ordered so many paperbacks because I prefer hardcovers, but okay. So the next book is The Aviary by Kathleen Odell, and I have no idea what this is about. This was 100% a cover by, well technically I first saw it on Goodreads and I added it to be read even though I didn't know what it was about, and then I saw it on Book Outlet, so I was like, okay. I feel like the cover is very kind of like Alice in Wonderland-esque, so that's probably why I got it. And then the final book is Fiendish by Brenna Jovanoff. Now, the first time I had ever heard of this author was when she was on Book Battles, and I remember I just found her really fun and unique, and I really liked her personality, so I looked up her books, and all of them sounded right up my alley. So when I saw this on Book Outlet, I knew I had to pick it up. I also don't know what this is about, and I kind of want to go into it blind, but like the cover is amazing. But right here it just says, Clementine DeVore spent 10 years trapped in a cellar, pinned down by willow roots, silenced and forgotten. So like, just with that, I'm already so looking forward to reading this book. And like, I kind of want to save it till next Halloween, but that probably won't happen. I feel like I need to read it soon. And then I also have a ton of other books that I bought or that I got from my library book sale, as per usual. So the first one, of course, is another copy of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's a movie cover edition, which I normally stay away from, but when it comes to Lord of the Rings, I love the movie edition covers. So I'm really happy with that purchase. Next, I picked up The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I've been wanting to read this book for a really long time. Once again, I don't really know what it's about, but the cover is gorgeous. But I know it's an adult novel, and I think it's like a romance with some magic in it, so I'm super excited to read this. Then I picked up Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, I posted a couple weeks ago that Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is like one of my new favorite movies. So I'm currently reading that book, but I also want to read the original, just Pride and Prejudice. Now, normally I stay away from a lot of classics because of the writing is just kind of hard for me, but I've heard a lot of people say that Jane Austen's writing is actually pretty easy to understand, so I'm really looking forward to picking this up. Next, I found this gorgeous edition of The Secret Garden at my library book sale for $1. It's a Hallmark book. I didn't know that Hallmark sold like these special edition books, but it's like velvet, or I think that's what it's called. And I've never read The Secret Garden, so I'm really looking forward to picking this up. And then I also picked up 3 Karen Kingsbury books. Karen Kingsbury is a Christian author, and I am a huge fan of her Redemption series. So the first one I picked up is The Chance, and I, again, don't know what this is about. So once again, I'll just read the synopsis to you. The day before a teenage Ellie moved from Georgia to California, she and her best friend Nolan sat beneath the Spanish moss of an ancient oak tree, where they wrote letters to each other and buried them in a rusty old metal box. The plan was to return 11 years later, dig the box up, and read the letters. But now as that date approaches, much has changed. Ellie has abandoned the faith she grew up with, her days consumed with loving her little girl and trying to make ends meet. Sometimes she watches TV to catch a glimpse of her old friend Nolan, now an NBA star whose faith is known by the entire nation. So that's only like half the synopsis, but that should probably give you a pretty good idea of what the book is about. The next one is called 15 Minutes, and this one doesn't interest me as much, and this one I actually do kind of know what it's about. So I believe it is about a guy who became very famous, and he's like trying not to let all the fame sort of get to his head. And then the last one is A Baxter Family Christmas, and this is kind of like a companion novel to the Redemption series, which follows the Baxter family. So obviously, since this is kind of like a companion, I can't really explain to you what it's about, but it's pretty tiny, and I think it's perfect for the holiday season, obviously, because it's a Christmas book. And I think I'm going to be picking this up for a Very Merry Readathon. The second to last book that I got this month is Stealing Snow by Danielle Page, and this is a Snow Queen retelling. So it follows a girl who I believe is called Snow, and she is in an insane asylum, and she was put there by her mother. And she starts having dreams about this strange tree, and she knows she has to get there, and somehow she does, and then she finds out that she has like these snow powers. So yeah, I am super duper excited to read this. I know Danielle Page also wrote Dorothy Must Die, that series, which is like super popular on BookTube. And the last book that I picked up is Hans Christian Andersen Classic Fairy Tales. This is one of those Barnes & Noble collectible editions, and this cover is probably my favorite. I feel like I say that every time I buy a new one, but I really like this cover. It feels very Christmassy to me, so that's probably why it's just like really appealing to me right now, since it is the holiday season. So yeah, this will look very nice amongst my other ones. Gee, I need to dust. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!